This is Khalid. He is a 4-time kickboxing world champion, the owner of this gym, my mentor, and my friend. And later in this video, I legitimately fought him, a kickboxing world champion. But now here's the problem. I don't know how to fight. I've never trained martial arts yet. So this month of January, I'm deciding to throw myself right into the fire and seeing if I could survive. For some context on how me and Khalid met, back in the summer, when I made this Life on Creative Mode video, his youngest son was about to go on the zipline. And if you had watched that video, you would know that I catch the kids on the zipline. So Khalid came up to me and asked me if he could catch his son. I had no idea who he was, but I told him, just put your faith in me, I am a pro. And he did. He sat down and just watched. Obviously, I caught his son. He was perfectly fine. And then as I was taking his son off the zipline, another kid jumped on the zipline, and he happened to be a fan. So Khalid saw that and he asked me, he's like, oh, what do you do? I said, I'm a YouTuber, gave him a little rundown on what I do. And then I asked him what he did. And he said he's a kickboxer and he owns a gym. So then long story short, he told me to come to his gym and train, because I told him how it's such a big goal of mine to get into this. And I also found out that the gym is only an hour and 30 minutes away from my house. So I moved to this place for the time being, this month, just so I could train. But before that, Khalid said to me,
I need you to come every single day, at least a couple times, train everything, every class, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA with me, any class. Come to it, you will learn, you'll get better, and here we go.
So that's basically what I did. I trained everything, and I mean everything. I got trained by all the professional fighters, with the most significant fighter being this guy, Kevin. This is Kevin. Kevin is a pro Muay Thai fighter. He is a killer. And this is also who has been personally training me practically every day of this month. I wanted to obviously take this very seriously, so I had told him to try and kill me. I essentially need you to kill me. Done. And that was a request I debated for the rest of the entire month, because he was not messing around. In the first few days, I got humbled so badly. Every guy thinks they know how to fight until they fight, and realize that somebody who has 1 month's worth of training could whoop their ass. In this gym, I saw jacked people who looked physically intimidating get their ass whooped by someone who is 5 times smaller than them. So me, I got humbled pretty badly. I got humbled from my pad work, from my form, and in my brain, I was like, shit, I'm gonna have a long month ahead of me. I told Kevin to try and kill me, and train me as if I have a real amateur fight coming up in February. Which I don't, but I wanted to train as if I did have a fight coming up. So I convinced myself that I did, even though I don't. So I showed up to the gym, a lot. 2 to 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. I was so drilled in and focused. I did not want to walk away from this month being a shit fighter. Especially since at the end of the month, I knew that I had to fight the final boss himself, Coach Khalid. So the first week was just learning the basics. And by the end of the week, I had my first spar with Coach Kevin. And bear in mind, I never sparred before. This was gonna be my first time ever with a pro fighter. And I got my ass whooped.
It worked!
And this was the result from all those leg kicks that you just saw. Oh man, I'm having PTSD just looking at this. But even though I got destroyed by this pro fighter, I learned a lot of things about myself. I got pretty good reflexes, you know? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna expand on that. See if I could learn to use that to my advantage. Now, week 2. After this humbling experience, I had realized that, alright, I got a lot of work to do. I rewatched a video of me losing to Kevin over and over and over again, and I became more and more upset with myself. But I also had become that much more dedicated to try and get better. And week 2 was better. I focused more on conditioning, I focused on keeping my hands up, which in the video, after rewatching it like 80 times, I realized that I have this weird problem of dropping my hands a little bit. So I decided to work on that some more, because who wants to be punched in the face? Not me. And I got better and better. I sparred a few times with the other students off camera, and I became very impressed with myself. Because with only 2 weeks worth of training, I was able to spar with the students who had months or even years worth of training.
Go to the head, then go to the body. If his hands are up, punch him in the stomach. If you want to do something, you run. Go something, don't run. If you want to do something, you do something. Pick the bag, things like that. What you done? Good job. Very good. Abidi, ready?
But the main person who I was doing the majority of the sparring with was Kevin. And since Kevin is a genuine pro fighter, when I had gone back to sparring with the other students, I kept performing better and better. It was so much easier. Week 3, with all the acquired knowledge I had developed, it was time to put it to the test by sparring Kevin some more. But the problem is, I got really sick. And if you can't tell by my voice, I'm still a little bit muffly. And it frustrated me more than anything, especially at its peak. It genuinely made me emotional because I was getting sloppy. I wasn't getting any better, I was getting worse, it felt like. And I didn't take any days off, regardless of how sick I was. And that includes for the YouTube channel as well. I still uploaded twice a day every single day this month, while still uploading a long form video every single week. And training 2 to 4 hours a day every day. Some may say that's a bad thing. I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. I wanted to make sure that I got the most out of this. So even though I was a little bit sloppy and sick, I was forcing myself to still extract some valuable information from the fighting that we were doing. Even people in my comments started to notice that something was off, telling me to take breaks, saying I look tired, I look sick. And as much as I appreciated and still appreciate having my people notice that I'm sick, makes me feel good a little bit, I knew that no matter what, I still had to keep going. Like, my mom was practically begging me this month, saying, please take a break. But my dad was like, keep going, son. And then this was my response. Alright, dad. As sloppy as I was from getting sick, I kept throwing myself into the fire. And Kevin was killing me, but I was getting better and better. And by the 8th sparring session that I had with Kevin, I had performed my absolute best. Hits after hits, dodges after dodges, looking better than ever. Let's compare how I looked 2 weeks ago versus how I look here. You could just tell how much more comfortable in my shoes I became. And that happened as a result of the constant training that I was throwing myself into. Now comes the final week. The week where I have to fight the final boss himself, the world champion. Of course, I was still nowhere near prepared, so I had decided to call some of my friends to try and aid this journey of mine. So I called Pierre, this YouTuber. He had just come back from China, and he's like, yo, why don't I come to the gym? I was like, brother, that is a genius idea. So he came to the gym, we did pad work together. Unfortunately, I didn't get that on camera, so you're gonna have to just deal with this animation that my editor is gonna do. Like, look, boom, boom, hit, hit. This is basically what happened off camera. And then after the 3 hours of him and I training together, we decided to spar. And damn, he's good. I noticed more flaws about myself while sparring with Pierre. He is constantly moving, and he is constantly hitting. But then I also realized that I have a lot of good advantages in my movement as well. I'm able to land good hits, but I had a little bit more work to do. Because I knew I had to fight Coach Khalid in 2 days, at this point I was anxious. Kevin kept reiterating and telling me that, oh, you think I train hard? Watch what Coach Khalid is gonna do to you.
I need to convince him to just do boxing and not kickboxing, because it's
he'll be fine. He'll just like he's gonna want to spar.
okay, that's fine. Because if he
You
does,
see him start drooling it, and so he hasn't sparred in a while. You're not gonna spar. I'm gonna survive. You're gonna land a shot, and he's gonna land 5. That's a win.
So this was getting into my head a lot. Like, I'm about to fight the final boss, the best in the world at one point. What am I gonna do here? But then when the day came, I had developed this game plan.
the goal is to survive, get a few good hits in, don't fall, don't take a knee.
Few minutes before the fight, my brain at this point was like, well, if I survive this, get some good hits in, then I did a good job. I'm a warrior. He is 6'3", 220 pounds. I am 5'10" and a half, 163 pounds. There's obviously a weight difference and a height difference, but you know what? We'll be fine. It should be fine. 1 month's worth of training. I definitely stand a chance against a kickboxing world champion. Let's see how this goes. So I convinced him to just do boxing instead of kickboxing because I didn't train kickboxing too much.
What is the mixed boxing?
I just want to see how well I could do with boxing.
So what is the mixed boxing?
Well, rewatching that, obviously I got destroyed, but I did a lot better than I had thought, for sure. I got in there and fought Kratos himself. Look, here's a picture of Coach Khalid, and this is Kratos. Tell me what the difference is. There is none. This month has been probably one of the best months of my life. I have learned so much about myself over the last 31 days, and it was a 10 out of 10 would do it again experience. If you live in Toronto, go to this gym, try it out. Go train with the people that I trained with. This is their website. You can get more information there. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who helped me out this month. I very much appreciate the experience, even though I got punched in the face maybe 200 times this month. But it's all good. Much love to everybody. And I will see you all next week.